Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Kimberly with Journal Breeze, and today we're going to, it's kind of a continuation of the last video that I made, but today we're going to add the element of, well, this is aluminum, but it's made for a faux tin type. I actually cut cans. I'm sure you all drink LaCroix at some point or another. And I cut them in all different widths, kind of whatever the can handle. I had some other drinks that made for a really tall piece. Let's see, what is that? I can't even tell. I got it at Ralph's though, because it's Kroger. So this is kind of the normal can, and then this is that. It's much flimsier. This is more heavy duty. So, it's just simple, you know, you just cut the can. I mean, this can has stuff in it, but I literally poke the scissor point right here where the turn is made, the curve is, and then I start cutting around. And at some point you have to start cutting around the other edge because your scissor can't go for very long. And then I cut straight down to the bottom. I don't necessarily take this off before I turn and go straight down to the bottom to that curve, and then I cut that off. And then by the time that's off, this becomes easier to cut, and I cut that off. So I don't worry too much about how they come out. I just get the most out of the can that I can. I only drink seltzer water, so I haven't tried it on other cans, but I don't see why those can't, produce the same thing. But before we get there, what I want to do is show you a couple things and then tell you what the experiment is that we're going to do today. So last video we made a couple of nothing's complete. Everything will be completed once I know where it goes. Then I'll know if I want to add something, lace or Christmas labels or whatever it might be. But these are what they look like before anything else gets added. So this is a label, and this is a label, and all the makers will be in the description box. So this part's the label, and this part's the label, and then they're one sheet of paper. And the paper is this. And the idea was to print the sticker with sticker paper, just any sticker paper that is totally transparent. If it doesn't say transparent, you're probably going to end up with a white background, so you can't see through it. But these designs are all from the background paper. That is why I wanted to make these into stickers. If I was only interested in getting the top and bottom adornment, I wouldn't need to make it a sticker. But I wanted to layer it so that these other parts of the digital show through. And same thing on here. These are flowers that are from the digital, not part of the angel. And this part coming down is under the sticker, trying to get the light right, and then this is the paper itself. And so what I probably will do with these when I use them on a page, let me get a page that looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a back to make it stronger, and I'm going to turn down the top and bottom and right side so that there's a nice fold there, and then I'm going to use it as a tuck on the side of the page, and this will be where items can go in. So I think that'll be really beautiful, but I don't want to shore it up or do anything until I know exactly where it's going to go. Like maybe I need to cut this down a little bit, or maybe I'll need to cut this up a little bit. Depends on where I put it. And then the same thing will be so with this larger. That's not the best page for it though. Let's see. This is a Waiting in the Wings journal to be finished. Oh, that's upside down. Oh. There we go. I believe I had this on this side as an example that I showed on Instagram. So I may want to have this up above this design if I were to use it on this page. But same idea. And I just think it adds so much that if nothing was tucked in, it really wouldn't matter. But I will set it up underneath so that it can be a tuck-in. Of course, these could also be bookmarks, and they could be put onto larger pages that are still small enough that they could tuck in and become a tag. Journal cards, you know the whole thing. And then this is another one that I made with a sticker. Printed on sticker paper, and then found a background paper that I then backed with music paper that could stick out around it. And I thought that was a beautiful setting for this particular image. Sort of the sky corresponds with the sky there, and then the brown was emulating the building and the cement that it's coming from. And I'm sure this will get some sort of a, I don't know. I'm going to glue it on a page and I'm going to glue it loose, but I think I'm going to have some sort of a Christmas sticker, or a piece of lace. I tried some things, but everything seemed to distract, in my opinion, because I like stuff, simple. And but I think that once I find out the page it's going to go on, that will help me to determine what I want to do further. The page I had that on in here, let's see. Now it looked kind of good too on that page. I think it was this. Yeah, this is kind of a old building color behind it. It's kind of a gray-green color, and so I feel like this can stand out and work there. And I also like it with this page next to it. So just a thought, but this could certainly be, put a hole in the top and make it a tag that goes in a pocket. It could be a side tuck as well. So I think rather than call them anything and try to fit to a norm, my goal, and especially today, is to make stickers and apply them with a top and a bottom specified by these papers. And one background is going to be on the aluminum, and another background is going to be on the paper. And what is making it an experiment is that I'm going to use the same sticker digital. It's not a sticker digital. I made these digitals on sticker paper. I printed them out on sticker paper. So I love this angel. She has a variety of options going on here at the top. The only thing that's stopping me from engaging a lot of it, of course, is the fact that it would be so tall to go in most journals. But I've been thinking about how I might be able to make the one that will be on the aluminum as more of a wall hanging or a large Christmas tree ornament, or something that's freestanding. And so then the length of it doesn't matter, because I feel like I want to incorporate more of it. And also the length I've got here will determine part of it too. And then the other one I'm going to do as I did on the others, and then lay it down on the paper. So let me tell you that I will say that since the focus is on this paper, it's the Golden Prayer add-on kit from Sampool Designs. And I have printed both of these, as I say, onto a transparent, cheap, from Amazon sticker paper. And then I printed a heavy-duty photo paper and a lighter weight photo paper. I have two weights. I'm going to use this one with the tin, or with the aluminum, and I'm going to use this one with the paper. And I think it's interesting that they produce different colors. This one is a little more grayed out. And by the way, I have learned from trying not to put photo paper as my paper type when I print on photo paper. It comes out very dull, way different. So I've set my printer to presentation paper. So both of these are presentation paper. It looks less different when you show it this side to side. But you can see this is brown and this is black. Can you see that? And this is the heavy duty, and this is the lighter weight. This is the double-sided type of printer paper. Photo paper. And this one isn't. I don't think. This one, oh, look at the marks. This paper is not as easily taken up, and so you can see that it actually didn't print the whole thing. By the time it got it up there, it didn't have a whole lot, the whole thing left. Last time I did a video, I shared you all the trouble I was having with the printer. So far, the fixes she made, except for black marks showing up, until this accident anyway, has been holding. And I'm so surprised, and I'm so happy. I also did a little bit of I taped a piece of cardboard at the bottom end of where the paper lays, because the paper was going through crooked. No matter how tight I had those things, you couldn't have them too tight, it would curl. So I put cardboard at the back and taped it on a slant, and the papers can't fall down. I guess this one was so heavy that it was able to slip up. So it had to do a lot of grabbing to get it. But that won't show, so it doesn't matter. And I'm grateful that it's working as well as it is. Okay, so, and then I thought this would also be a possibility for a cool top to do another tin type. Hang it from one of these. So, I want to set my alarm. We've already gone several minutes, so this is going to be a little bit longer than 30 minutes. Hope you'll bear with me. It's not difficult, it's just time consuming. So I'm sure you're all dying to see the faux type. So let's do that first. So the faux tin type is going to be on the heavier paper. So let me set that aside. And then use this. And then I printed this out at 8x10 and then took off Fit to Print. So it's as small as it could be and not be 5x7, which really prints small. And this is the color on regular 24-pound, 28-pound paper. And so this is creamier and beigeier, and the sticker paper is lighter in color. It's more visible on my end than on yours. The sun is what's providing the light for this today. I don't have any lights on. They tend to yellow it, which is unfortunate. Okay. So, the question is, do I want to use the black for the tin type or the brown background? I'm already going to use this because it's heavier, and I would have picked black anyway. I think that's more in line with tin types. Okay, so what I want to do first is determine where I want the top of the tin type to be. We're going to work on cutting this out. Now, if I have this, sorry if I hit that, if I have this at the top, if I want that to be the top, yeah, then that becomes a very long piece. Well, then we would cut it off on the bottom. Okay, so what I'm looking at is, do I want just this branch to be up here? That's pretty, actually. If I were to cut it wide enough that this would go to one end and this would go to another end, then we would have this branch going horizontal right there at the top. But then we'd also have a lot of blank over there. I'm not crazy about that. But there really isn't anything else over here. Let's see. If I started it up a little higher, then we have more that goes to the left, and then there would be less blank to the right. Yeah, I think that's the idea. So I'm going to cut it straight across so that we get a lot of that in there. I can always shorten it. And then I'm going to cut, let me measure how long this is. Approximately. If I used the whole paper, it'd be 7 inches. 7 and almost a half, actually. And I don't want to do that. Oh, no, 7 1/4. Okay, so knowing that I want to start cutting about there, I'm going to fold it. Okay. It's so pretty all the way up. Let me measure something here. If I started at the top and then I went to the base of the picture, it'd be 6 1/2. Yeah, that's probably not too long. And if it hangs on the wall, it wouldn't be either. But I don't know, did that look good? Now that I put a crease in it. Okay, let's see. If I did that, started it there, I don't want to cut that off either because that's another angel. Okay, then there's a line there. It's really important to me. You might wonder what I'm doing, but I want there to be a connection between this garland and this. I want it to look like it's actually connected. So that's why I'm looking at this top quite a bit. So we know we want this included. So that means that it goes up to here. So I need to move it over. And then this, we're going to get some of these words here on this side. I don't think I love that A up there. That's the thing. I don't think that looks so cool. So I'm gonna make a cut. I'm going to use my straight edge, and I'm going to, this is the first crease we made, and this is the second crease we made, so I don't see much point in going above that crease, really. I hope I'm square there. Let me see. Oops, come on. Okay. Okay. If this isn't square, it's going to look really bad when you apply it to the background. Doesn't matter about how it falls on the tin type, but it won't look good on the background paper. Okay, I don't know if that's square. I really can't tell if it is. Okay, it looks good. Oops, did I just hit it? Okay. And then I'm going to go, I'm going to start from here. Oops. I am not all that comfortable using these knives, I have to tell you. I suppose I'll get there if I stick with this long enough. Okay, so if we're going over to here, is that, yeah, I pretty much felt I had to go into those musical notes. So okay. Okay, good. All right. Okay. Okay. Then I'm going to cut this, although I think I'm going to be cutting it again with the straight edge to the right side, but I want to get rid of the border. I'm saving these, by the way, because if I want to put a clear, that doesn't even look clear, does it? It looks, wow, that's interesting. It doesn't even look clear. It looks misty. But it looks clear once it's down. I don't have any issues with it. I think it's great. I just bought another pack. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this. Okay. I love this handwriting, but honestly, it's not all that appropriate for Christmas, is it? I mean, it could be, but I'm trying to make something pretty. So I'm thinking we won't include that. So see, when you start, you just kind of get an idea in your head about it, sort of lay it out, and then begin to cut. It starts to take shape in your mind, how long you want it to be and all that kind of stuff. All right, so to stay with my idea of keeping this on here, and you could make it connect up higher, you could make it connect down lower. I love these ones that are uncomplicated by others, plus they're blue and I rather see blue, but it's limited, it limits it. Okay, let's see. So then what do we get that shows up under here? Oh, that's a pretty end. That's a very pretty end. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. And again, I want to make sure it's square. Okay, I think I'm going to go like that. Okay. So then, this is the paper. Oh no, I did cut that with a scissor. Well, I think I cut straight on that line, so let's assume. And did I go down to there? Let's just be safe and cut it maybe a little bit longer than we might want it. Just to be on the safe side. I'd rather cut it again than cut too much. I want to lay it down on the paper, and I want to see where it falls in the design on there. That's where I'm going in my mind. Okay. Okay. So let's, I just don't want to cut these off, but I'm going to clip them because ultimately I don't know how, if I'm going to use this up and down or use this across. So since it's sticker paper and you only get a few sticker papers in a package, I want to be thrifty with how I cut it. I think you can relate. Okay. Alright, so here we are, the magic moment. Let's see what we get. If we went down to the blue, we'd have a space up there where I could put something like a label or a stamp, you know, a pretty stamp. But then we've got that A coming down, which I think looks not so great. And then this is cut on a, I started up higher and then it goes lower, so it definitely has to be straightened out. Okay, so the width is actually, oh, that's pretty. I like how that comes around there. And then that connecting, but I don't like that A. I don't like that rectangle. If that rectangle or partial rectangle weren't there, then it would just be to the blank. I'm not sure I feel about that either. we do know we can keep where we can see that if I connect to this flower, then I can chop it off right there. And that would just get a few letters, and that's fine because I don't think the letters are offering anything. And then if I want this to come and touch, then pretty much I really can't take anything from the side. So I think that's how it's going to have to be. And then let's see about the bottom. I really didn't want all this to show. I mean, I wanted it to end like there. So cutting some off and then having this I didn't want to repeat. I think that would look bad. So I can tell you right now, we have to get rid of more on top. I wish I could cut this off. I think I'm just going to cut it because it's getting in my way. Okay. Okay. So it seemed to me that if I cut in the middle of these, it'll be the most likely to be plenty enough. That's what matters. And I've already ripped it here, so in a way, I've already kind of wrecked it for another use, I guess you could say. In here it'll still work, though. Oh, I hope it's straight. Oh, good. Okay, good. Okay. Oh, and then the paper got a little, it upped itself. So now the sticker isn't on there. Let me try to fix that so that it doesn't prevent me from using it later. Funny that it like buckled. That is, so I've got to maybe unstick it to that point and then re-stick it. Okay, that's good. That worked. Okay. All right, and then okay. I can set this aside now. So I'll tell you what that measurement was in case you want to do this. You can avoid all this trouble. All right, so 6 1/8. And this, well, so far we don't know. 3 and a little over 1/2. Now, we're going to have a final measurement, so I can just give you that. That'll work. All right. So now that that's off, let's just see what it looks like here. Let's just make sure that we know what we're doing. I know I want to cut off more of the top. And I know I want to cut off more of the bottom because it's got to be higher. That doesn't look so bad. I mean, if I don't go for the blue and I still cut off some top, I think that'll work. So let me get the bottom done because it definitely has got to go. I'm going to try to get right below this. Where's my... there to there. Okay. Okay. Oh, it still doesn't look straight. Ah, this is what my hardest part was in quilting when you're using fabric and you've got the bias, or you've pieced a bunch of pieces together to form the ones that you're now trying to fit together. It just is so critical to keep it square, and it's so hard to achieve for me. Really, really hard. Okay. All right. Okay. Still looks kind of rounded. Isn't that weird? I don't know. I got new glasses, and they're different, different material and different prescriptions. So maybe it has something to do with that. But I'm not seeing it quite right. Maybe, I don't know. Now I'm going to take what I don't like off the top. Okay, so that shows how it's off. This end is up shorter than that end. Okay, so what do I want to get? Do I want to go beneath this? Yeah, I want to go beneath this. Yeah, that's good, because that's the widest part of that. So that works out for me. It's going to be shorter, and that's fine. I like that. That way it can be used in a journal, or placed in a journal. Okay. Okay. So then it's going to go, if we do that, oh, isn't that interesting? Okay, so wanting this cute part to show beneath the tin type, it would then show as that being what leads it, what it's hanging from. Yeah, I like that. Now, the tin type can either take up the whole, I can cut the tin type and the paper the same width, or I can cut the paper wider and have the tin type on top. And that's what I'm going to do today, because I want to decorate the corners, to further show that it's not paper, that it's made of a metal element. So I want to come up with something pretty, but stick it in the four corners like I've done on some of the others. So I think what I'll do, assuming this is straight, I'm assuming this is straight. I'm going to, you can't even really draw on this. That's part of the problem. This is photo paper. Excuse me for burping. Let's see if I can get a semblance of what I really want to do, I guess, is make sure that I know this is the bottom. Let's see if we can get this. Okay. There's a divot in the ruler. And then how are the sides going to look? Is that pretty for the sides, or do we want to make it smaller? I think smaller. Okay, so now I'm going to draw. Okay, so I have these blue flowers. And now most people draw like a little dot at the top and the bottom. I use a pencil and draw the whole line. Okay, and then that'll be that side. Pretty plain. I'm not trying to really add adornment on the side, but obviously it's going to be there. Okay, so that's probably ultimately a little over a quarter. So then this needs to be a little over a quarter. And I have to make room for the pencil marks, so okay. So ultimately we're going to have this black up here. I don't even want this to show. I want to try to cover it up. This is too bent. I'm going to try to cover. So that's what it's going to look like. Oh, I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. All right. That is the hardest part. After that, it's easy. Okay. So I need to straighten this. It's really driving me bonkers. I'm going to try my cutter over here. So let's see if I can get it straight. It is so slight. Okay. Okay. All right. And then the top. Okay. All right. So now let's find the right piece of tin. So I don't want to waste any. And these are all wide. This is the skinniest, so it's going to win. It's not, it doesn't feel very heavy. Oh, it's going to be on the paper. It's okay. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape this down, and then I'm going to put it on here. So I'm going to tape it to here. Just don't want it to slip. You might have a different setup and it won't slip. You don't have to tape. It's just precautionary. And what I did in making my other tin types is I decorated the back to make them look aged. And if I don't do that to some extent, I think this is just going to look very, ordinary in a way. The silver shows through. But it's not like there's a lot of white areas here, so it doesn't show through as much as you might think. So we have to do something to make this look a little more aged. And since it's not exactly the right size, let's see. Well, you can tell I haven't done this before, like this, because I'm a little bit lost. Okay, knowing that this is black, as opposed to brown. Well, that could be a dark brown. You know what? This is too. This is like this. So you can use that, or you can use a stamp. And I have used a stamp to good effect. I'm trying to find it. Ah, this is interesting. This is Silicon Clear Stamps by Globeland. And I'm going to try out these two long ones. Normally I use this and just kind of come in. And then this is also an interesting one to try. So let's try those out. Oh, here's what they print out like. This. So I don't want that. I don't want a brick wall. Well, actually, no, I'm just trying to age it. I gotta remember my point. Okay. So this might actually be the best. This is still a little rectangular feeling. Okay. Okay. And then I can use the one I normally use, which is this one and this one, which is this. And yeah. And then when it's cut and the metal is the same size as the angel, then I can put Distress ink on. Yeah, it's coming back to me. A lot has happened since I made these a little while ago. I do have a video where I use old book pages to frame the tintypes, and I go over it there, so that might be of some interest to you. Okay. So I think for the aging, though, I think I'm going to use a lighter ink because I don't really know what I'm going to get. So let's see. Gathered Twigs is my normal, but it's kind of red. And this is also Gathered Twigs. This is my sort of medium coloring. And it's called Coffee, but I actually had to buy a different refiller lately. They didn't have coffee. They're out temporarily, and so I put something else on it that's actually a little bit darker. And then we have Vintage Photo. That's another option, but I only have this little one out. When it ran out before, I guess I buried it away. So I'm just going to go around the edge. It's not like you want to have something real definite. The point is just to make it look like it's old. I hear you, girl. I hear ya. Okay, so let's just say we do. Yeah, I can barely see it. Yeah. Okay. That girl was my dog, in case. Oops. Okay. Alright, that was a half an hour, so yeah. We're not. It's going to be a long one today. Okay. Can you even see it on camera? Hi, do you need something? I don't think so. I got you all ready before I turned on the camera. Okay, let's see if we can get something more out of this splatter. Okay. Oh, that's good. I like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now I hope you can see it. I don't think you can, but trust me, it's there. It's very, very light. Anything that doesn't show up, we can do more enhancement. So mainly it's up here and over here that I want to do it. Mainly up here. And then over here. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. And the digital is also aged over here, so okay. That's all I'm going to do. I don't want it to look too. Okay. So just for the sake of keeping it all flat, I take out part. Whoops. I fold it. And then I lay that down. Now when you're working on the paper, you have to be very precise about how you lay it down. But that's not the case here because I'm going to cut it out. But you can see where most of my stuff is, so I want to put it, yeah, okay, in that space. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, there we go. bend in it. I like that. You know, I'm not even, am I convinced I want to have this on there? I guess so. Alright, and then I'm going to use my scissors because it's oh so much easier to cut the tin down to exactly the same size. I'm going to turn the light on. Yeah. Wow, all this reflection. It's not easy to see. Okay, let's see. Okay. Yeah, it's still showing a little bit. Oh, that's not so terrible, is it? Okay. Yeah, the whole thing has got a little bit of an edge of the tin. And I'm okay with that, but it's a little even here. I don't want it to look like I tried to leave it showing. So, and yet I don't want it to be uneven either. Alright. Okay, so you can see that the aging worked out beautifully. Can you? Can you make that out? I mean, it is really great. I'm not so sure that I want to do something in a darker color. Let me see if I can just... Yeah, it doesn't stay on the tin, but it stays on the sticker. Let's go down here. Yeah, that's adding a nice touch. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up or... but I like it, and it's definitely worth doing. Oh, I still want to get some of that extra tin off there. And it's pretty heavy duty right there too. A little bit goes a long way. And you find that you're cleaning up tin forever because the shavings are tiny and they fly. Okay, and this and this. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then all right. Oh, gosh. Whew. That's what I have to say about that. Whew. Oh God, you guys. If you have a YouTube station, you know what this is like. If you don't, consider yourself lucky. Okay, so now we've got our lines drawn. See, it's so much better having the lines drawn. So, and you can see why I want to poke it down. So I need to, I think what I'm going to do is step away and cut these lines so that it's truly straight. I don't want to deal with it. And then I'll be right here, but I'm just going to get this done in a swoop because they're long and I don't want to cut it with a scissor and possibly have it not be straight. Okay. Okay. All right. And we have the bottom cut. And we have the side cut. Then we have another side cut. It's hard to see my pencil marks, to tell you the truth. There we go. Okay. Okay. And then the top. Wow. Still has the white, so hold on. As you know, I'm not a fast thank you ma'am, wham bam, thank you ma'am, what maker, I don't know. Check yourself 85 times kind of maker. Okay. I chopped off some of the black. Okay. So now we have, and actually, it's going to need, not necessarily. Okay, now we'll get the brads. Oh, I have some gold brads. It just looks too fake, doesn't it? And then some aged brads. So what I was thinking now is putting gold paint. There's a gold paint. I don't know if it's this one, Gold Marker by Pilot, or if it's silver. Wait. What if we did silver? Let's put this marker on it and see if we can dull it so that it looks old. There we go. And then maybe that would be a better choice. We've got to always dip these. Sometimes when I dip it, I just put the thing I'm trying to change in it. Didn't even think about silver. Oh, that's very dull. Very matte. That would never show. It would just look like I was trying to blend in. I wonder if we were to try to age the gold one with silver. Let's see what that is like. Not a lot of paint in this. Not a lot of paint. Which makes me think I maybe have a newer one in here. Yeah. Let's see if that's the answer. I probably haven't used the silver since last Christmas, so. Okay, let's go like this. Oh, yeah, brand new. Okay. Oh, it doesn't want to grab. Oh, come on. Brand new, and it's not coming out. Hey, people. Trying to make this happen. Wow. Well, that's... I was storing it on its side for a really long time, and then it got to be just an eyesore to have this thing laying on its side, but I'm thinking maybe I needed to keep it that way. Oh, good, I have a Sharpie. Let's see if a Sharpie will do it. Because I don't think this old one is going to give me 4 more, or 4 in total. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's... Okay, so that makes it a darker metal. It almost looks gray. It just won't stand out at all. It'll just look really ordinary. Let me try another one though, because I think that had the base of the first paint stick. So let's see. Compared to that. I mean, that's just too shiny. It's not acceptable no matter what. So, gotta find some other way to... I don't know. It just doesn't really... It just doesn't look good. Huh? I just don't think it's a good idea. So, let's see about putting the silver on the gold. That's got some promise. Don't tell me you're going to go out too. Okay, so that looks sort of goldy silver. I like that. I think that's going to work out. Yeah, it blends in. The other option is the ones that are antiqued. And I don't know, I just feel like that's what I've used in the other ones, and it works out well for those, but because this is on the pretty side, I just don't think I want to do that. Even though I grunged it up and everything, I think this is so pretty. I really want the eyes to go to the flowers. I don't want the eyes to go to the brads. I just want them to be there to help lay it flat, but, excuse me, also to add another element. So, alright, so then I'm going to use gold. So 1, 2, 3, and then we've got the one we did. I'm going to put these silvers... I want to put these someplace separate in case I want to use them for something else. Let's see. I think I'll put them in there. Okay. I used my owl. Not owl. Awl. No, I think I used a pokey tool. No, I haven't used my awl. see. Not sure where I put it. Oh gosh. Okay, so we'll use this. Okay. Oh, I've got to paint them all. Yeah. Okay, let me get this done real fast. And then we're going to put glue on there, but I don't want it to be flat. I want it to, I want it to have body. You know, I should copy this, draw a line around it on the other piece so that I don't have to go through all those measurements again to do the experimental piece. I want to make sure I do that. Huh. Guess it's a good thing I broke my thumbnail last night. Helps me grab this when it falls. So yeah, so there'll be like a little, there'll be some sense that these are tarnished gold. That's what I'm going to say, is that these were gold at one time and then they got tarnished. Oh, come on, don't run out now. Please don't run out now. Oh, crud. Oh, it's really running out, literally. Oh, gosh. Oh, please. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's the one that's not working. The new one. Darn it. Well, I may have another Sharpie somewhere else and I can fill it in after I put it on. I guess that's the only option I have. Okay. Okay. I hope I have another one. Okay. This is gone. Let me take a sip. Okay. All right. The other thing I want to do is erase some of these pencil lines I see here. Okay. All right. And I wanted to put a little bit of the I don't want to get too dark. That would be okay. This is good. This is leftover, I believe, from the black brown distress ink. It's thick photo paper, so the white edges are pretty darn obvious. It matches with that so well. You know which one it is, right? Because I had it out a minute ago. It's that new black-brown color that came in. Here it is. Scorched Timber. Yeah. Okay. Which is almost black. So I have... Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay. All right. Let's see how this sucker lines up, shall we? Okay, so to me there's not enough holding that, so that's why it's got to come up higher. And then you get this delightful thing at the bottom, which I would like to center. Well, guess what? You can't really center that and then have these be equal, but that's all right, because this extends out more anyway, so it's not really centered either, so that's actually correct. All right, then the glue I'm going to use, oh, where's that glue? Oh, there we go. Beacon 3-in-1, it's my favorite over fabric tack, but it works fine on fabric. Has less of a smell, and dries, just takes the time it needs, and I find it less runny, way less runny. Okay. Alright, there you go. So I'm going to put it up here. Please, it slipped, sorry. I have a feeling I should start gluing at the bottom. Seems like getting to the top is going to be problematic. So, does that look straight? Okay. So I'm just going to stick it on, because I really am counting on the brads to hold it down. I don't want it to be flat. Okay, so let's see. Okay, it's crooked. Okay. Sorry, I know I hit it. Okay, so it's attached in my mind here and here. Okay, and then I'm going to put this. Oh, let's see if I can turn it around. Okay, and come on. Okay. Oh, I went above it. Oh, please don't. I did. I went a little above. Shoot. Oh my gosh. Well, it'll just be more aging. Okay. Alright. That is good. I'm just going to put a little bit more down here just so the brads have help. Still looks like it shifted. The bottom's got to come over. Okay. Does that look pretty good to you guys? Perfect is not the goal. Alright, before I do the brads, I think I'm going to let it dry under a book. Okay. Ah, I forgot to draw around it. Darn it. Darn. Oh. Okay. So this one, remember, is the lighter photo paper. And this one, well, then I'm not going to do it exact. It's going to be the same. Close enough that you'll get the drift, assuming I can even finish it in time without this really going on forever. So the possibility, we can hang it in the same place, and then we would have this going through the middle. Or we could use this as our top and have this going through the middle. Or we can have this as our top with the flower coming down, and then that in the middle. See, I love this bow. I'd love to have it come off that bow. If it's not too, it would have to be skinny. I'd have to keep it skinny, but you see this bow here in the paper? I love it. If I could have it hang right from that. I did that on another one of these. I don't know if I... There we go. This little bow is holding this. And it's very lightly done, so honestly you don't even really see it that much, to tell you the truth. Your eye goes up here to where the pink and the blue are, but I love that garland coming down there. So, it's going to be skinnier if I do that. But there is enough paper on the side for that to work. So then I would probably bring it down and hang it from this twig that's going like that. I like it. I'm going to do it. Plus I can see it in my mind's eye and I can cut it quicker. Okay, so let's see. So much for doing more than one project today. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, I want to get as close to where I want the bow. I want the bow to be moving right into there, like the bow is really holding it up. And then I'm going to put these black lines right here, right on there. I'm trying to turn that off. Okay, we're now at an hour, so I'm going to do this quick. Okay, so that's where the bow is going to be. So let's go like this. And then I'm going to go down the side. I think I'm going to use the, oh, I can't, because I've got the books on that thing. Oh, I'm going to wing it. Let's see. Okay, so then we're going to go here, connecting there. That comes up. I think that's beautiful. So that goes over to there, and then we'll just cut right there. And then it will end. I'll have to cut it up higher here to get it to land. Well, I think we'll have to work on the bottom when we get there, because it's still going to be a little bit weird ending. And the point of this is to have like a cohesive look that was planned. Okay. Alright, is that, I wish I could tell if that was straight, if that was square. Where's my square thing? Okay, so there we go. Now if this yellow line runs the same all the way up, then we're good. It needs to squish over a little bit on the side. Okay, we're good. This is going to work. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. Okay. And I think it's going to be short. So I'm going to cut it here because I've got it handy, but I'm pretty positive it's going to be short. But I'll cut it here. Oh, it slipped at the end. What's new? There we go. You can see where it curved. Yeah, it's just really not straight. That is not okay. Okay, I have to fix that paper again. Alright, okay, and then I was going to bring this in. Okay, let's go like this. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so let's see where this needs to be to catch this bow. Oh, look, the bow could go to the tree trunk. That's kind of cool. So you see it right there? It goes like that. Or it can go to the highest part of the branch, which is what I originally had thought. But see, then it ends right next to this rose, which I don't really want that. I think I like the tree branch. It's centered, I would say. It's a little bit to this side. Okay, so I think that's it. I'm going to just fix that bottom, make the bow go into the tree. Otherwise I would go up to here. That would give me the cleaner bottom. I would have nothing on the bottom. It's kind of a bummer. This is what would show through on her in the middle. That's beautiful. And then the last thing showing at the bottom would be this, and then there would be blank. And that's if I move it up and leave that length, basically. If I move it up, now I like the bow, and I like having that blue thing come up. Yeah, okay. Alright, I am going to fix this bottom a little bit, though. I think it's not too bad. Okay. Now, in terms of aging this, I think I'll do some aging on the edges. And into it a bit. Oof. Yeah. And that was a little heavy-handed looking for my taste with this one. Oops. There, it does look better with the aging, for sure. Yeah. And in terms of stamping, I don't think I'm going to stamp. I can always stamp after if I think it needs it. Okay. Alright. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it to it, people. Alright, so I am going to get this top right. So I'm lining up the trunk with the base. When I kept it straight. Miracle of miracles. Alright, there we go. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know if I like it with how the flowers fall. I do not know. So let's cut it completely and then we'll know. So if I cut the edges and it's just this one piece, that'll be like how I did the others. Or on the tintype, I left a bit of a boundary, but the boundary is not going to be pretty on this one, I don't think. You just end up bringing in a lot of partial things. So I think what I'm going to do is cut this. I'm going to cut it off at the bottom and do like how the bottom turned out, and then cut along the edges. And I'm just going to use my scissor. Oh, but I got to draw the line. You know what? I'm going to use this cutter and just move the tintype stash. Okay, let's just see. Here's the 2. Yeah, this is just 2. I mean, they're hardly comparable, aren't they? Well, that's what happens when you take a little risk and you cut in a different space than you intended to. I'm not sorry. It's just a piece of sticker paper and a piece of photo paper. It's not a big deal. You don't have to redo it at all. So, no worries. But maybe it's going to look better than you think once I get this cut. That can happen. Oh no! I just cut off my top. Oh yeah, okay, well, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. Oh, that's really too bad. Well, I'm going to finish cutting as if it wasn't split. I'm going to add something to the back and see if I can salvage it maybe. It's going to be glued down, so it doesn't matter if it's not attractive tape, right? Oh gosh. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just really not thinking this week. So, you know what? You can't even tell. It's kind of amazing. Let me burnish it since it works so well. Wow, that worked really, really well. I have to give masking tape a little more attention as an option. And then I've got a little tiny strip here. Okay. Okay. So we're leaving that. We're not cutting that. I have not yet on my cutter been able to get right to the edge because it doesn't actually, you can't really line it up except by eyeball with where the cutter part's going to be. If you line it up on the edge of the printer, if there's still a little section like a 16th of metal before the cutter comes along and cuts it. You know, it's that big one by Fiskars that you don't have to put blades in that lasts forever. So I don't love it. So now I have large printers of every kind available and by different makers, and I don't like any of them. None of them are precise. Oh God, I want to draw. Just about turn the corner. Okay, I'm going to draw. And my pencil's dull, so I need to move it over a little bit. That's where I'm going to cut. Oops. Okay. I think it looks better. I really do. I think it looks like nature, and that she's actually sort of secondary to the flowers that are growing. It's almost like she's the nature, Mother Nature, and she's in the background, and the foreground are the flowers, and coming up from this base flower here and moving out. I like it a lot better now. In fact, I'm going to use it this way. Let me get some brown on here, and let's measure it and see. Oh, there's that cut. I need to put it back on it right away, even though it's going to get glued down. I won't use this as a tuck because of the fragility of chopping that edge off almost all the way. Ugh, how dumb was that? Okay. And you're all shaking your heads going, I've done that. And then we can all say, more than once. Yeah, I know. It's part of it, right? Okay. All right, so I know the clock is late, but let me get in a bread. So my poke tool. So I can see where I could have cut more. Yeah. And I don't get real crazy and fanatical about this. Hard to believe, isn't it? So you gotta go through to the other side. Okay, and then we'll put in one of our aged probably the least aged of the pile. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little better. There we go. Looks good. Looks so good. And I just love that. And I love the bottom. And I love that. They are so different. I love how this goes down like that. And I love that she's receded. She's receded. She is a spiritual force from nature who's helping this beautiful blossoming. It feels like a tree, a vine. And in this one, she and her other angel are the center of attention, and there's a vine over their head, symbolizing protection and protection from the elements, and beauty. And then another chain, that's what I was thinking. I was looking for one. I didn't have one handy. But another couple of holes up here, you could have a ribbon or a chain, and then that could be a wall hanging at Christmas time. And you could put lace down here at the bottom. If you wanted to, it'd be a better lace than that. But there's all kinds of ways that you could, add to it if you wanted. It could be cut off to be more like a tag before it gets put in the journal, if that's what you end up doing. But I do feel like it's not quite finished and it needs a little bit more something, so it'll depend on where it goes. But I do myself think I'm going to make it a hanging. And then I'll back it with something very stiff and glue it down and have it be something pretty. And then this one, let's see what the length is on this one. This is, almost 9. So there's room to have a little bit cut off here, but I don't really want to. So it's going to have to be a tall book, because I'd have to cut an awful lot to bring it down to 8. I have to cut off this whole bottom to bring it down to 8. And I don't know if I want to do that. Maybe that would actually look better. Let's put this on the bottom, cover it up. Let's see, it would be, let's see exactly where I put it. To bring it up to 8, it would go right here. So if we blocked it out, we cut all that off. That's the point of that, to make it look like it's actually ended. Then, oh, it's a little crooked. Then, I think some is going to come off the top too. I think I'm going to do something to the top. Like maybe put lace that I pleat or bunch together across the top. I think it's needing to balance out this bottom by having something up there, so I'm not going to cut that because I don't want to cover these up per se. And in the bottom, I don't know. I don't think it makes a huge difference. If I cut off the bottom, then there's a basket. It's not the prettiest bottom. I think this is a prettier bottom. I like that flower. I'd love to hear what you think. I really am not going to do anything until I kind of figure out what I do at the top, and then I can measure it again. Or I might want to wait entirely until I figure out where I'm going to use it. But I do like it. I do have to finish the repair on the back. And that's it. So I was hoping to get to a third thing, but not today. So I'm going to put in the rest of these brads and then figure out what I'm going to hang it with. Put a couple of eyelets there, or maybe just natural holes and tie it right here and then have something go up. I'd like it to look as kind of natural as possible, like nature natural. I did get some sticks because I knew I wanted to do that. So there's this stick. It could be, I could attach. It could also be at the top, and I could sew around it, but have it be a little bit away so there's some room for like a nail behind it. This was also another interesting piece of wood that I thought, I don't know if it could be utilized in some way. It's a piece of driftwood from the ocean here, and I think that's a lot. And then this is a piece of driftwood that has a natural arch in it, and I'd have to probably sew around, put holes in here and sew around there. That looks a little too ordinary, a little too much like a country theme now that I see it all. And then there's this very lightweight one that could be easily attached even with glue to the back or staples. So just a thought, I'm going to look and see, but please leave your thoughts in the comments. I mean, tell me if you think there's something that would look really great, and tell me if you think this one is a keeper, or if you think I wrecked it by choosing to put the sticker on such a heavily flowered area. I don't think I ruined it. This is on a heavily flowered area. It's just that it gets cut off. It's the same area. And it looks great. This one is that area, so you have these flowers, these big pink flowers that come across there. That may not have been so great either. So you could just find a different paper if you don't like it, I guess. But I think all in all, I like it. So, I mean, I do. I don't think. I know I do. Now that I've reassessed the story. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you very much. If you hung in, I especially thank you. You can always speed my things up. You know, I understand they're long. But I hope this was worth it. So, please, if you liked it, subscribe. Let me know you liked it. And let me know what you think. Take care, you guys. Hope you have a good next week. Bye-bye.